Hello, I'm here to talk a little bit today about Blavatsky. Not necessarily her book, but her as an individual. I was, I've done research on her in the past because I've had my book for a few years now, which is why I wanted to do. I have a hair attacking me, I'm sorry. I wanted to do a video about it because I think it answers so many questions that seem to be everywhere today. It answers the questions of, you know, past civilizations. I think it answers a lot of questions about origins of the cosmos, our Earth, races that have been here, continue to be, that have gone. I think it answers a lot of questions about occultism, Gnosticism. Like she said, it's not necessarily dedicated to any group of peoples or religions, but dedicated to all theosophists because they called it forth and the knowledge is now recorded. But for some reason, I went on Wikipedia to see what they had to say. Now, um, I was born really early 80s. So when I was in high school, and I'm not going to say like technology was new, but when you would be writing any kind of a research paper or an essay and you had to cite sources, you were not allowed to cite Wikipedia because it can be edited by anybody. It's not a reliable source of factual information. You know what I mean? So for shits and giggles, I went on and I typed in her name today. And it says she's a pseudoscientist, and a charlatan. And it just kind of, and as I read on, it was because of her fictional works, The Secret Doctrine, which I was like, okay, you can call it fiction, because she states her opinion, which isn't factual, but there's a lot of information in there. It wasn't like she wrote a novel, you know, but whatever. Frivolities. And it was because she had done seances in the past. Now, like I said, she was born in 1831, died in 1891. During that time period, seances were very popular. They were very, it wasn't just like, all smokes and mirrors for people. Everyone understood that there was an existence beyond this plane, that there was something beyond life, that the individual, when the physical biological vessel died, that there was still something that existed beyond. They understood that. So there was a real big oh, a real big craze, I guess you'd call it, of trying to communicate with that, trying to reach out to that. So because she partook in those and she did a little sleight of hand in hers, she was automatically a charlatan. Okay, all right, call her that, whatever. You can do it because yeah, she did a little bit. Some things were a little underhanded, but I think a lot of things that she experienced and those around her did. I think some of that was real. You have to kind of do your own research, try to do unbiased research, both sides of the spectrum to see what you come up with yourself. And the reason they called her a pseudoscientist was because, sorry, my dog keeps ringing bells. I'm gonna let him out real quick of the room. Evie, you stay. Archie, you go, because you can't hang, man. He has a hard time hanging. My girl dog is with me, so that's what I was talking to. I wasn't just blah blah. Anyway, getting down to the point, the reason they called her a pseudoscientist is because she goes against Darwin's theory. She doesn't go against the theory of evolution itself, and she doesn't go against the theory of uh, traits being carried over through, like, this one was really successful, so this one got to mate more and his traits got carried on, and this, like, or how whales were once land mammals and eventually their legs, they turned into either a pin or, well, whales turned into like with the fin, but seals and walruses and things like that turned into pinnipeds. You know, things evolved. She doesn't go against that. She's like, oh, evidently that exists. That's a thing. But what she goes against is his theory of survival of the fittest. She says from her experience and studies, it's survival of the smartest. And I think she goes into some really good examples of why she believes that. And she also goes into her opinion of why Darwin's theory was pushed forward as heavily as it was. It helped fit a lot of other, my opinion, pseudoscientists' theories, the ones that were most popular, well funded, and highly, the boys in the right clubs, let's just say. It made their theories more valid. So let's all push forward the ones that make us look the best. And we all know that history is written by the victor. The victor doesn't like to tell the truth because it obviously sheds a very specific and illuminating light on him or them. Let's say them because there's a them. The thing that gets me is when anybody is on the right track or anyone is telling too many truths, they have to be discredited or humiliated or ridiculed in some way, because if the truth got out, well, that would show who hasn't been telling the truth the whole time. So with all the debate about there were giants in the world, there's other civilizations that lived, there was an entire age of uh, enlightened and advanced humanity that we're not told about. All those things are true, and all those things are explained in the great in the secret doctrine. It goes into how old our world is. It goes into what shape our world is. It goes into how old the universe is. It goes into the creation of all the galaxies. It goes into how the universe moves, who runs it, how energies work, beings beyond even our comprehension, their existence. And when you go and you throw the blanket back, or the curtain back from everything, and you say, here are all the answers, everyone gets to see those and then go, I wasn't told that. How come? And why was I told this other thing? It's like when H.P. Morgan destroyed a lot of Nikola Tesla's work because that wasn't going to make him any money, and if anybody else found out, he was going to lose a lot. Those same forces are still in effect. So, I don't know. I'm asking everyone just to take a look. Take a look, read, see for yourself. There's so many books, and I'm not asking you to read on the internet. I'm not asking you to read other people's opinions. I'm asking you to read and form your own. You know, I like the analogy of perspective of as everyone's looking at the same cloud, but everyone's looking at it from a different angle, different height, different frame of mind even, and we all need them to create the complete picture of the cloud. That's an analogy my husband told me. I really like that one. So I would like to know what you think. And when I was first reading her opinions on Darwin, I was like, well, this is kind of hokey. This is a little bit too far out, right? That's my dog Evie. But the further I read, and the more sense it made, and the more points that were laid out, makes sense. Or how people talk about how the ice wall of that's like around everywhere, like Antarctica. She talks about how when the poles were at a different, a different angle, those areas were in tropical zones. And she talks about that. She talks about the different land masses. And it's like, of course, those things existed. I don't think anybody's debating that, but there's a lot of people lying about that it ever existed in that way, or that there were certain civilizations that were and then passed. And it's like, and who would benefit from keeping certain things like that hidden? Who would benefit from not having the truth out? And that's pointed out very clearly in her book as well. You know, there were a lot of groups. There still are a lot of groups. Groups like uh, George Carlin said, we'll never be a part of. We don't even get to know that those groups are real or that they're there. That's how secret they are. We'll never be a part of those groups. And I think she points those groups out very specifically. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And she describes who's tied to those individual groups and why it would benefit them to push the narrative that's being pushed right now. And I think that's why there was a really great wipe, because some knowledge got through, some knowledge slipped through the cracks, like the secret doctrine. Some knowledge made it through. Not all of it was erased. And I think it was because she was already being discredited. They're like, it's a work of fiction, just publish it. But I don't think any of them read it, otherwise it wouldn't be. So I'm just saying. I really think she's worth a look. And I don't know. Just be careful of where you're getting your information. Like I said, don't even trust me, because who knows if I'm real, right? My grandma always had a really great saying. Never believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. I hope everyone has a great day.